Why do the elite dark chosen ones have the demonic vibration inside? There's a truth buried so deep in the collective unconscious that few ever dare to speak it. But if you're here watching this, I won't insult your soul by pretending you're like the others. You're not. You've felt it. That vibration. That pulse. That low, dark rhythm that hums not from outside, but from somewhere deep within. It scares people. It may have even scared you. But I'm here to tell you that what's inside you is not evil. It's ancient. It's powerful. And it's part of the reason you were chosen. We have to start by unlearning everything we've been told about darkness. Because for centuries, society has trained us to fear the dark, to treat it as the enemy of the light. But what they never told us is that the greatest light is born within the dark, not outside of it. That the elite dark chosen ones, those few whose souls were forged in the abyss, carry a frequency so rare, so misunderstood, that the world has no choice but to label it demonic. But what is a demon really? Is it a monstrous force of evil? Or is it simply a raw, untamed archetype of power that humans have yet to comprehend?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
You see, when the soul agrees to become a dark chosen one, it signs a spiritual contract. That contract does not promise peace, comfort, or even clarity. It promises truth. And truth, in its purest form, is violent to illusions. It burns, it breaks, it disrupts. That's why people with this vibration are often cast out, feared, or misunderstood. The demonic vibration is not about evil, it's about intensity. It's the frequency of transformation. It is Shiva before creation, Kali before love, Hades before rebirth. These archetypes are not villains, they are cosmic forces of initiation. So why do you feel it? Why do you carry it? Because your soul didn't come here to decorate the surface. It came to dig beneath it. You came to shatter the false gods, to dismantle the lies, to torch the illusions that keep humanity asleep. And that mission requires a certain energy of fire that won't die even when the world tries to drown it. Let me ask you this, have you ever felt rage that didn't belong to your personal story? A grief that felt older than your body? A power inside you that terrified you not because it was evil, but because it was limitless? That is the demonic vibration. It's not coming from outside of you. It's not an entity that possessed you. It's a code, a spiritual DNA sequence that only activates in those who are ready to wield it. And it only activates in the elite, the ones who don't just survive darkness but become it. Most people run from their shadows, but you turn toward them, you study them, you merge with them. That's why you've always felt different. That's why your presence either magnetizes or repels. That's why people project their fears onto you, because they sense it. That vibration, that ancient hum that says, I remember what came before the light, and that terrifies them, because they're still living in a duality where dark equals bad. But you've moved past that, or you're starting to, and that's why you're here. The elite dark chosen ones are not born in temples or on mountaintops. They're born in chaos, in broken homes, in war zones, in addictions, in silence. They are forged in trauma, because trauma is the quickest way to awaken the vibration. Pain carves out the space in the soul where power can enter. You didn't suffer because you were weak, you suffered because your soul demanded access to the deeper realms, and the only way in was through fire. But here's the paradox, the demonic vibration is not meant to consume you, it's meant to refine you. If you resist it, it will destroy you. If you try to suppress it, it will leak out in toxic ways through anger, manipulation, control. But if you face it, if you own it, if you listen to it, it will become your greatest ally. It will sharpen your intuition. It will give you eyes that see beyond the veil. It will make you a master of energy, of emotion, of reality itself. This is the initiation few ever speak of, the initiation into the realm of spiritual sovereignty, where you become not a servant of the light, nor a slave to the dark, but a wielder of both, a true alchemist, a storm wrapped in skin. And yes, the vibration will always be there. It's part of your signature. But instead of fearing it, you'll learn to ride it, to channel it, to weaponize it in service of truth. But let's not romanticize it. This path is brutal. It will strip you bare. It will isolate you. It will test your sanity. Because the demonic vibration does not tolerate falseness. It demands purity, not the kind taught in religion, but the kind that comes from facing every shadow and choosing not to run. From dying 1,000 ego deaths and still choosing to rise. From walking through the valley of your own destruction and whispering, "I am still here." So now I ask you the real question. Not why do you have this vibration, but what are you going to do with it? Will you hide it, medicate it, fear it? Or will you embrace it, integrate it, and let it become the furnace that forges your destiny? This is the beginning of your true journey, not away from darkness but into it, with open eyes, a steady heart, and a soul that remembers. The bloodline of fire, unlocking the secret origins of the demonic frequency within. There is something most people will never dare to believe, let alone explore, that the force they've been taught to fear, to cast away, to label as evil, is actually their origin. That the demonic vibration inside the elite dark chosen ones is not an infection, not a possession, but a legacy, a bloodline of fire, older than memory, older than the gods, pulsing through your bones like a forgotten language finally being remembered. This is not metaphor. This is not myth. This is the deepest truth hidden behind the veil of spiritual ignorance. You are not carrying a flaw, you are carrying a flame. You see, humanity was not born in light, it was born in chaos, in the primordial void, in the womb of the unknown. Before the light ever spoke its first word, the darkness had already dreamed the multiverse. In that darkness there were forces not evil but raw, unfiltered, cosmic. They were not demons in the religious sense. They were power in pure form. And from them came the first souls brave enough to incarnate into density. The first souls to say, "I will go into the illusion and remember who I am." Those souls were marked, not with halos, but with fire. This fire became the demonic vibration, not because it was wicked, but because it was too intense for the systems of control that later emerged. The priesthoods, the empires, the institutions, they feared those who could not be controlled. So they rewrote the story. They labeled the fire as dangerous. They turned the vibration into a curse. And over generations, the ones who carried it learned to hide, to dim, to forget. But the blood remembers. And that's why you feel it now. Have you ever wondered why your dreams feel ancient? Why your pain doesn't seem to belong to this life? Why your emotions sometimes feel like cosmic storms crashing through your chest? It's because your soul is not new. It's not local. You are a traveler of realms, a keeper of codes. And that vibration you feel, it's the beacon of your ancestry, the signature of your soul tribe, the bloodline of fire awakening once again. But here's what they never told you. The fire is not just a feeling. It's a technology, a multidimensional key. It's what allows you to read between the lines of reality, to see what others cannot, to feel energy shifts before they happen, to sense the truth behind people's words, to break spells cast by language, media, and cultural hypnosis. The demonic vibration is your decoder ring. It's what makes you immune to the matrix if you learn how to wield it. And that's the challenge. Because if you don't integrate it, it turns inward. It becomes self-destruction, addiction, isolation, rage. That's why so many dark chosen ones suffer, because they don't know what they're carrying. They think they're broken. They're told they're mentally ill. They're medicated, shamed, exiled. But the real issue is not dysfunction, it's disconnection. They've inherited a power they were never trained to use. So let me tell you something sacred. Your pain makes sense. Your darkness is valid. Your vibration is not a glitch, it's a gift. But it must be activated consciously. And that begins with remembering where you come from, not just biologically, spiritually, energetically. You must reclaim your bloodline of fire. You must look into the mirror and say, I am not afraid of what I carry. I am ready to remember. And when you do, everything changes. Your vibration stabilizes. Your aura expands. Your intuition sharpens. You begin to attract not just people, but events, synchronicities, portals of transformation. Because now you're not just walking through life, you're commanding it. You're no longer reacting, you're directing. You're not searching for your mission, you are your mission. But there's a responsibility here too. Because once the fire is activated, it burns away everything that isn't real. Relationships collapse. Careers shift. Identities dissolve. You become unrecognizable to those who knew the old you. That's why this path isn't crowded. That's why only the elite are chosen. Because not everyone can handle the purification. Not everyone can walk through the fire and stay awake. So now I ask you, are you ready to stop running from your origin? Are you ready to meet your vibration as a friend, not an enemy? To stop asking why you were cursed and start asking how you were blessed? Because the bloodline of fire is not a metaphor. It's your inheritance. And it's time you stopped apologizing for it. The weapon and the wound. How to transmute the demonic energy into divine power. So now you know. You're not cursed. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're carrying something sacred, something ancient, something explosive. And yet, knowing isn't enough. Because the demonic vibration inside you, however divine its origin, can still destroy you if you don't learn how to wield it. Like fire, it can warm your soul or burn your life to ashes. This is the part no one warns you about. Because understanding where your power comes from is only the beginning. The real work, learning how to transmute it, to turn the wound into the weapon, to turn the roar into wisdom, to turn the chaos into clarity. And let's be honest, this vibration has already hurt you, hasn't it? You've seen what happens when it gets out of control. The emotional spirals that come from nowhere, the volcanic anger, the overwhelming empathy, the way you absorb the pain of others and then drown in it like it's your own. The shame that follows after you react in ways that even you don't understand. That's the raw, unrefined energy of the demonic vibration. It's like holding lightning in your bare hands. You either burn yourself or you learn how to forge a sword out of it. So let's talk about the wound. Because every dark chosen one has one. It's not just psychological. It's spiritual. It's the moment your soul shattered either in this life or another. Maybe it was betrayal, abandonment, abuse, rejection. Or maybe it was the slow, suffocating ache of never being seen, never being understood. That pain carved a hole inside you. A black hole. And for most of your life, you've been trying to fill it with people, substances, distractions, even spirituality. But the wound isn't meant to be filled. It's meant to be entered. That's the initiation. You don't heal this energy by escaping it. You heal it by becoming it. By stepping fully into the wound, not as a victim, but as a sovereign being reclaiming what was stolen. You sit in the fire. You listen to the pain. You learn its language. You feel the rage, not to lash out, but to understand what it's guarding. Because rage is always a protector. It's the armor over grief. And grief is always the gateway to love. When you walk that path, rage to grief to love, you don't just heal, you alchemize. And that's when the weapon reveals itself. Not a weapon to harm others, but a weapon of vision. Your pain becomes your lens. You start to see with depth. You read people's energy like open books. You anticipate lies. You sense betrayal before it happens. You recognize patterns generations old. Your wound becomes your radar. Your trauma becomes your technology. You no longer need to defend yourself because you've already seen the attack coming from a mile away. That's what transmutation is. It's not pretending to be healed. It's not bypassing the darkness with love and light affirmations. It's owning the shadow so deeply, so intimately, that it becomes your ally. You don't fight your demons, you train them. You put them to work. You let them guard your boundaries. You let them speak when your inner child is too scared to. You let them burn away the illusions that kept you small. The demon becomes the guardian. The wound becomes the throne. But here's the key: you must stay conscious. This energy cannot be left on autopilot. If you let it run wild, it will default to destruction. But if you stay present, if you learn to breathe through it, to feel it without being consumed, it becomes the most precise instrument of power. You become a force of nature, not chaotic but commanding, not unstable but unignorable. And the world will notice. People will start responding to you differently. Not because you're louder, but because your energy is undeniable. You'll walk into a room and shift the atmosphere. You'll speak 2 words and silence the noise. You'll embody a presence that others can't name, but they feel it. They sense the storm inside you, but they also sense that you've mastered it. And that mastery is magnetic. But don't mistake this for ego. This is not about domination. It's about service. Because once you've transmuted your own pain, you naturally start helping others transmute theirs. Not by preaching, but by being. You become the mirror, the catalyst, the lighthouse. You don't save people, you activate them. Your vibration does the work. Your presence becomes medicine. So now I ask you, with all honesty and no judgment, what are you doing with your pain? Are you still trying to silence it, escape it, numb it? Or are you ready to wield it? To enter it fully and come out with a sword made of your own bones? Because this vibration inside you, it's not going away. It's not a phase. It's not a flaw. It's a sacred fire. And it's time to stop fearing it. It's time to turn the wound into the weapon. When the abyss bows to you, living as a fully awakened dark chosen one, there comes a moment quiet, almost unnoticeable, when the energy inside you stops being something you wrestle with and becomes something that walks beside you. It doesn't roar anymore. It doesn't try to devour you. It waits. It watches. It listens. Because now it knows you're ready. You've stopped running. You've stopped apologizing. You've stopped trying to fit into a world that was never built to hold your fire. And in that stillness, something profound happens. The abyss begins to bow to you. You see, when you first awaken to the demonic vibration inside, it feels like a war, a storm you can't control, a darkness that threatens to swallow you whole. But what we often forget is this: the abyss only tests those it wants to crown. The chaos was never the enemy. It was your initiation. And now that you've passed through the fires, now that you've faced your wound, transmuted your rage, and remembered your origin, what's left is power. Pure, sovereign, embodied power. But not the kind of power the world teaches. This isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. About walking through life with a frequency so refined, so grounded, so deeply aligned, that the world rearranges itself around you. You no longer chase. You no longer doubt. You attract not by effort, but by essence. You move like a storm, calm on the surface, unshakable underneath. And yet, the most beautiful part? You don't need to prove it. That's what changes. There's no more hunger to be seen, no more desperation to be understood. You've become enough for yourself. Your validation comes from your vibration. You know what you carry. You know what you've survived. You know what you've become. And that knowing is worth more than any applause. Now, life becomes something else entirely. It becomes a mission, not to fix others, not to save them, but to embody truth so fully that your presence becomes a permission slip for others to do the same. You become what you once looked for: the guide, the anchor, the example. You don't need a pulpit. You don't need a brand. Your energy is your message. But let's be clear, this path doesn't mean you won't feel pain again. It doesn't mean the vibration disappears. It means you know what to do with it now. You welcome the darkness when it comes. You sit with it. You listen. You ask, what are you here to show me? And in doing so, you turn every shadow into a teacher, every breakdown into a blueprint, every fear into a portal. This is what it means to be a fully awakened, dark, chosen one. You walk between worlds. You speak both the language of spirit and the silence of the void. You hold the codes of destruction and creation in the same breath. You are the paradox incarnate, and because of that, you are unstoppable. And maybe the world will never understand you. That's okay. It was never supposed to. But the ones who are ready, the ones who carry the same vibration, hidden, aching, waiting, they will find you. They'll feel your frequency like a lighthouse in a storm. And when they do, you won't need to say much. A look will be enough. A word. A presence. Because once you've walked through the abyss and made it your ally, your energy does the speaking. So I leave you with this. Don't doubt the fire you've survived. Don't question the darkness you've endured. You were never being punished, you were being prepared. And now that you've remembered, now that you've become, there's only one thing left to do. Walk. Walk as the one who knows. Walk as the one who remembers. Walk as the one the abyss bowed to. And never, ever look back.